Welcome to Lessons with My Lawyer podcast. I'm John Fossum, aka Carcass John, and just to my side here is my good friend and great lawyer, Brett Stalcup of Stalcup Law.
Hey,
Uh, Before we get started, I just want to give you a kind nudge to like and subscribe, and go check out our YouTube channel at Lessons with My Lawyer. And so, how are you, Brett? How you doing today?
oh man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I
Yeah.
had a rough weekend, but I'm doing good. I'm recouping
Isn't it a choice, though, to whether you're having a good day or a bad day? I think we've
every day,
mentioned this a million times.
every
But,
day.
well,
I had a little road rage today, but I've recovered.
what?
Yeah, I
You?
did. Yeah, this lady just honking behind me, and I was turning right on red, and she just irritated me. It's okay if you get irritated.
But you didn't
So,
do like Terrell Suggs at the Starbucks, did you? Hang your gun out the window and
no, no,
no,
no,
nothing like that?
no. I ain't gonna hang that gun out unless I use
No, no, no. Because you know what? I learned early on that you may think you're the big dog, but then there's always a dog bigger. So,
I was at dinner last week with Jay Suckalo. He's just a great guy. Him and his partner Stuart, dear friends of mine, and he was talking about, well, he's argued for the Supreme Court 18 times, and I'm like, dude, that is so bad. And he goes, how about you, Brett? I said, oh no, I believe in street justice. He started laughing. He goes, dude, street justice is good. I go, yeah, it is good.
you got to handle it at the grassroots level sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to roll your sleeves up and get ugly with it.
Well, as we get started here, I've had a bouncy news week, and some of our listeners and subscribers are really starting to tune into some of the stuff we're talking about. And before I get started, I'm going to have our producer Brandon Baddock, who's done a phenomenal job, by the way, pop on. He's going to give me the definition of gaslighting, because one of the questions has to do with gaslighting and the law. So, Brandon, are you there?
Yes, gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone makes another person doubt their own memory, perception, or sanity.
Oh man. So the question was, as a lawyer, in your legal opinion, is there a statute for gaslighting, or is there any law that would that in the confines of free speech that allows for rumor, innuendo, or insinuation?
No, not in the criminal world. Maybe in the civil world, you got your defamation and stuff like that. But in the criminal world, talking ain't going to get you in trouble, you know, unless you're burning a flag. That's a form of free speech, but that'll get you in trouble too. But just, like you can't have an oral assault.
So you're free to
If you
say
spit
whatever
on
you want.
somebody, then you have an assault.
I
If
got you.
you sit there and yell at somebody, call them an idiot, 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 that's not an assault.
It's just annoying. So
Yeah.
what if you react to that?
Like
What's the what's the liability for the person that reacts?
Like how? How do you react?
Like, let's say someone's yelling, "You're a racist, you're an idiot, you're a homophobe, you're whatever," and you punch them in the nose.
You're in trouble then.
Okay.
It depends on class A, class B, class C. Class C is just a real easy punch,
So,
offensive touching. But then your class B is going to be where you hit them with physical contact. Class A is going to be more of a serious bodily injury if you broke his nose.
hmm. So there's nothing that can stop a guy from just screaming you down and calling you names.
No,
Okay.
nothing.
Just got to have thick
That's
skin.
the reason. Don't you see all the ICE guys and all the agents or the popo in the cities like in Oregon, and they were standing there with their shields and everything on, and they were yelling at him and screaming at him and getting right up in their face, and they didn't touch him. That takes true patience and dedication.
And discipline.
Yes, and discipline. Good one.
So, well. so this has kind of led to another question that I've had. This Epstein files thing is a big hot topic, and there's a lot of people that have said that this person or that person or these celebrities or those politicians are on the list. So, what could be what are the possibilities of realistic prosecution or whatever or for those people that are just randomly named?
Oh, interesting. But they're named for a reason. I thought, if I remember right, even Bill Gates was saying that he admitted to it. Didn't deny it. He said he regretted hanging around an idiot like Epstein, but depends what state you live in. But it depends what state you're trying to prosecute in. All the states have different laws, right?
Interesting.
So the federal laws are the same. Sex trafficking, going across the border, uh, is going to be easier to prosecute in a federal court than it would a state court. But then you got different states have different statute of limitations issues. So, like the state of Texas, we have misdemeanors are 2 years, felonies 5 years, murder I believe is 10 years, but aggravated sexual assault, like on a minor, is 10 years after you turn 18. I'm just shooting these numbers from the top of my head, but I know that my head is pretty good.
Yes,
So
sir.
so I'd bet on my head. Yeah.
Okay.
So it depends on the Epstein releases what they can prove. Because I think a lot of these complainants, i.e., girls, some of them have died recently or, and moved on, but it depends. If you're in the state of Texas and you did this in a boat and the girl comes out 28 years old, you can get convicted.
So that kind of leads me to my next question is what's the difference between being named in the documents and being criminally liable? So if the documents prove that you actually did something wrong, what are your so I guess you kind of mentioned the statute of limitations for something like that.
Yeah, you got to watch the statute of limitation. Here's the way we look at it. Jay Sekulow and Stuart and I were talking last week. Whenever you get a case, the first thing you look at is the parties. Do they have standing to bring it? Next thing you look at is jurisdiction. Does the court that they brought it in have jurisdiction to hear it? That's your opportunity to get them knocked out. Those two things. Got it?
Okay, when you say standing, define it
Standing.
for us, please.
Well, does that person have standing to bring it? Well, when you sue a church is going to argue that you don't have standing because they don't recognize the laws of the United States, especially the Catholic Church. They argue that you cannot bring them into a court of justice because you don't have jurisdiction.
Interesting. Wow. I learned something new today.
Yeah. So you have to really pay attention to that.
Okay,
And
because
so
so
if it's
go ahead.
a civil case, man, I think most of those civil cases have run or, against Epstein. They're all got a class action going up in New York. Well, he was a resident of New York, right? And a lot of the causes of action were probably created in New York. So that New York would have, what's the word, Carcass?
Standing.
Yes, and jurisdiction.
Okay. So even though he allegedly did things out of the country on this little island or whatever, New York still has the ability, since he was an actual resident of that state.
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. You're asking me a
Okay.
question that's going to take a lot of research.
Okay. Well, maybe we can follow up on that on one of our next episodes because I have a feeling this thing's going to be a hot topic for a while.
I don't know. He put him on an airplane and he went from one state to the next and he in a foreign country. Is it a foreign country where that island was?
I don't know. I think it's a private island. So is
It was
that
in this. It was in America.
it's in America? There you go. Brandon on the spot.
Brandon, I'm gonna put a robe on Brandon. He can be the judge.
He could be the judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah,
Swing of the axe.
yeah. You know what else? That what's his name? Prince Andrew. You talking about a guilty dog? He might as well just start barking because he is guilty.
He's in a world of hurt, isn't he?
Yep.
Well, you mentioned something about the Catholic Church, and not to pick on any individual church, but in legal terms, what is the separation of church and state? I guess that would be a great example.
That is a good example.
So, in fact, you had mentioned to me. In fact, we've had our friend Danny Brewer, and you don't you two do something
We do a lot
legally
of
with
church
the
law.
church law.
Yeah.
So maybe just
Represent
briefly
a lot of
describe what that is all about.
we represent a lot of churches. The churches, these big churches, 10,000 members and more. And sometimes they have up to $200 million worth of assets. They get in arguments all the time. And those big churches, a lot of them market to newbies. You know what that means?
They're trying to get new parishioners.
No,
Oh,
that means the whole feel good and the rah rah and the music and the dancing is attractive to newborn Christians.
okay. So they're
Love
trying
that.
to, yeah, they're trying to get new parishioners and
No,
trying to
no,
get people through the door.
no. Is what
No,
happens is somebody new just found the Lord. I'm a reborn Christian. Our church is perfect for you. Come to our church. We do the feel good, the Joel Osteen. He markets to newbies,
hmm.
newborn Christians. The feel good. We want you to feel good. I'm not saying that in a bad way, Carcass. My little Greek Orthodox church, we can barely make payroll. But there ain't no newborn Christians in that church. It's
Those are hardcore Greeks.
hardcore Greeks that have been around since the beginning of time. The Greek church line never changed. The Protestant church line broke into the Catholic Church and the Protestant church. So the Greeks are real proud of the fact that the historical church line has never been modified.
As my grandfather would say, they've been around since Christ was a corporal.
Yeah, says Paul, they'll remind you very quick that the Apostle Paul wrote his letters in prison in Cyprus.
Yeah, I did know that much.
Good.
So
So did I answer your question?
I think you did. I mean,
It's called the something something Brandon. Can you look that up? The essential doctrine, whatever it is, where you don't have standing to sue a church.
wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So I mean, not I
Okay,
obviously can't.
look at this. So the
Okay.
church has its elders, it has its board, right? And then it has its voting. So you get mad at the church for the way they spend their money. Who do you sue as a member of the church?
Would that actually be a reason to sue? If I mean, if you thought they were misappropriating your funds, why wouldn't you just take yourself to another church?
That's a brilliant feedback. But somebody that's put 2 million
Oh,
in the purse thinks they have a seat at the table, which
gotcha.
they don't.
It seems like there's two main legal doctrines in the U.S. that apply. There's the minstrel exception and pardon my English here, exlestrical.
Yeah,
Abs-
ancestral.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absentation doctrine. It seems like it's those two.
Yeah, that's it. What's it say about how's that defined, Brandon?
The doctrine says that the civil courts cannot decide purely religious matters.
Wow.
There you go. Because here's the other thing. So a rich dude at the church sues the church. Who is he suing? The board?
Board of the Lord, I guess. And you
Why,
can't.
how does he have standing? See what I mean?
Hmm.
The members of the church? You gonna sue all of them, all 10,000?
I guess that would be kind of like a player on a professional team suing the team because he doesn't get enough playing time.
No, or suing the fans for not clapping right.
Oh, gosh.
You know,
Okay, that
but
does sound like muddy water there.
yeah, well, here's what happens in the courts. The courts don't want to put their foot in that. See what I'm saying? They're like, y'all need to figure this out. Y'all need, and so you take those kind of cases and remove them to mediation in a Christian ICC mediation portal where you have collaboration with the Christian mediator and you're supposed to resolve your differences like the Bible says. Shake hands and come out spitting.
There's a lot of emotion in those too. I can see why the court doesn't really want to. They're supposed to be more involved with facts. That would be my outsider's view of, say, civil court is. It just seems like there's a lot of emotion there in the church court too.
So that's what the Catholic diocese says about when I sued the priest for diddling, sexual molestation. You can't sue us. You don't have jurisdiction. But
Can you sue the Vatican?
you you can sue where the priest has been and where he came from and where he landed. You sue everybody. And if you can prove, see, back in the day, what they did was they set themselves up for failure when they don't allow the priest to marry. So what happens is those theological seminaries for Catholic priests attracted diddlers. I want to be a diddler. I'm going to go there. Great, great farming ground for that because they hang around guys. There's no women except for the
Mm.
nuns. So then, when they were having problems with sexual molestation, someone would um, make an allegation against a priest. They would just move them to a different church. And then if it happens again, they might put them in a treatment center or something, but they never got rid of them, dude.
Mm. So if the police hear this allegation, could they go to that person
Yeah.
and could that person refuse a say a police search?
Nobody's not going to be able to refuse anything because it's criminal. Criminal, you're not immune from criminal
So
activity.
so outside
Got
the
it.
church, would I if a cop knocked on my door and said, "We have a warrant to search your house. Could you refuse him entry?" Just say, "Even with a warrant, I don't want you in my house."
No, they're going to break your door down, dude.
Okay.
That's going to happen.
So as long as they have a warrant, you really can't stand in their way.
You can't stand in their way.
Can they at least give you a reason, or they just say, "No, I have a warrant. I'm going to come in and look"?
Yeah. I'm going to give you a copy of it and I'm going to give you an inventory of what I'm taking.
Interesting.
There's
So
a scope of the search that's on the search warrant.
I gotcha.
Then when they leave, they fill out an inventory of what they took, give it to you. Cash, guns, dope.
But as far as the religious side of things, they don't really they don't have standing or jurisdiction.
The
Okay.
criminal courts do.
Okay. Wow. That's a that's a lot of muddy water, Brett.
Yeah, it is. Most judges
Um,
don't want to put their feet in it, but that's the truth.
so what's trending in the legal biz these days? What kind of cases are you seeing more often?
I see a lot of sexual molestation with kids. I see that more than we ever imagined that we would ever see it. Uh, I see cocaine cases coming back.
Hmm.
A lot of coke, and I still see a ton of DWI cases, which really surprises me with Uber and Lyft and Auto. That really surprises me. But
Any
especially people that got two or three.
any thoughts or opinions on why that's the case? I mean, you know, you certainly have to get in the mind of somebody that's continuously breaking the law. Like you said, if they have multiple DWIs and they're
Yeah,
still,
that's just I don't I don't understand it. And I think that they drink so much that they think they can handle it,
hmm.
handle the drive home, and they can't. They're going to kill somebody.
Yeah, I know a guy that's got multiple, almost a dozen, and yet he's had the money to get himself, yeah, I'll go to treatment, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then
Oh, dude, back in the day when I was starting my practice, I had a guy that had two in one day.
that's
I
amazing.
can't ever hear that.
No, that's astounding, actually.
And they've made DWIs so expensive on you. You know, back when I was a prosecutor in 1984 and back in 83, with you could get deferred. Well, now you can get deferred too if you blow less than 0.15. But then they just added on. Now we got video. Now we got camcorder. There's so much they can look at to convict you. You know what I mean? It's just, if you've had two drinks and you drive, you're asking for it. Dude, listen to this. So when I got divorced a long time ago, 27 years ago, the judge did not like my ex-wife. And he said, honey, you need to put the keys to that Porsche Carrera on my bench because you ain't driving it no more. You're going to drive this Jeep. And so I took the Porsche Carrera and I drove it to my folks' house in Irving. I was driving back. And back then, you know, it was all standard. And I wasn't used to driving the damn thing. And I was all over the road probably a little bit. Man, that dude tried to give me a DWI. And I haven't drank in 36 years. I said, he goes, you need to get out of the car, sir. I go, yeah, I'm not getting out of the car. Are you kidding me? He goes, you need to get out of the car. How much have you had to drink? Nothing. He goes, sir, you're all over the road back there. I guess because I just got this car today and I'm not used to driving it. And so I said, I tell you what, why don't you call Chief Lowell Kennedy and tell him you got Brett Stalcup pulled over? See what happens. So he let me go. But yeah, I'm just saying, that's how easy it is to get one. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
easy.
And you weren't even drinking and you almost got one.
Yeah.
So if you have been drinking, the best thing to do is not drive,
Uber,
period.
Uber, Alto, Lyft. And don't throw up in their car. They hate that.
Well, on that note, we appreciate everybody watching today. Once again, we advise and admonish you to like and subscribe and go to the YouTube channel at Lessons with My Lawyer. And we'll talk to you next week, and we'll have something more interesting than throwing up in an Uber, I think. Or
Yeah.
maybe not. I don't know. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. Have a
All right.
good
Have a good one. Thanks, Brett.